Okay, so I've just dropped my children off to school and I am just about to go to work. A few months ago I recorded the route to and from work by bicycle, and I did say I would do my to work route by car, and again I explained the reason I often drive, or have to often drive, is because I have to do a school run followed by getting to work on time. Not always easy. Something I certainly appreciate that other road users around me when I am cycling are busy and need to get places, so I do appreciate that holding someone up unnecessarily can be extremely frustrating for that person. So yeah, from that point of view I am courteous when cycling. Also when driving I try to be courteous, let people out rather than let people sit there for hours on end when they just don't need to, if it delays me for a few seconds. So the route I'm going to be taking to work when I get back to my hometown in a sec will be the main roads. The route I use to get to work is not the route I cycle to or from work. The reason being is basically the main road to work is uphill, and it is the main route to Bristol, and therefore it is usually pretty busy with cars, lorries, vans, and at a time when people are trying to get to work. Again, I appreciate that people sometimes are running late. Now, whether that's because they themselves have similar thing as me, where they have to drop off their children and get to work, and if they're conscious workers like myself, they want to make sure they're at work on time. I certainly don't want to turn up at work and just go, oh, I'm late, it's my children, and not taking any responsibility for myself. I hope the dash cam's pointing in the right direction. It is literally just resting on the dash, so I have to take it a little bit steadier around the corners and conscious of not braking too hard. So this isn't actually part of my route to work at the moment. This is literally just coming back from dropping the kids off from school. But the next set of lights right to right, that would be the route I drive to work, or if I was to choose to cycle the main road, that would be the route I would cycle. And as explained, I would not feel comfortable riding on the route. I can do. I don't feel like I'm going to get killed riding on it. It's just less enjoyable to ride when you're constantly looking for cars overtaking you, when you're crawling along at say 6-7 miles an hour up a hill. It's not really the best, is it? And it's not very helpful for the other motorists when I know there's a quiet country lane route I can take, albeit 2 miles longer, but I like cycling, so what's 2 miles when you enjoy cycling? My drive to work is roughly 10-15 minutes by car, and by bicycle going in it's 45-50 minutes on the way in, and it's around half an hour on the way home because it is more downhill. My route home is different than my route in, largely because I use the main road coming back on the downhill section. If you're doing 30 mile an hour down a hill at 10 o'clock at night, or whatever time I finish, 4 o'clock afternoon, you're not going to get many cars past you when you're doing 30 miles an hour. And you also have the ability to take the lane more. At higher speed you have a great ability to control the traffic behind you with your road position. At slower speed you generally don't have much control over what's happening behind you. Something as an experienced cyclist, you learn is how and when it is possible to try, well, I say control, try and influence, because at best all we can do is influence the vehicles around us. That's whether we're driving our cars or riding our bicycles. Obviously riding a bike, you take up less room, so there's more opportunity for people to try and get past, whether that's a conscious bad decision or whether that's the person lacking education and thinking it's perfectly fine to pass relatively close. That's down to the individual, and something I've always said is I don't know the ability of the person who's overtaken me, therefore I am going to take responsibility for my own safety, and I'm going to keep an eye on people overtaking me, and I'm going to adjust my road position appropriately, firstly to deter, and secondly if that deter doesn't help, that doesn't work, and the person tries to overtake where it's dangerous, I can easily ease off and move left, using that space on my left if I've taken prime to keep myself safe. One of the things I would say, if you are taking prime, utilise that space if you feel the car's going past close. Sometimes I see people put their hand out, touch the car, often moving towards the car, and yeah, it's not clever cycling, guys. If you're going to take your hand off, if you feel threatened by a car that's too close, my advice is to use the space on your left. You should at least be secondary, so at least have best part of a metre space you can move left with, thus creating at least a metre's gap between you and the vehicle that's overtaking. So yeah, I do fully emphasise taking responsibility regardless of how bad someone's driving is. If it's really bad, recording it, reporting to the police, absolutely 100%. Either that person needs education so that they learn about safer overtaking of cyclists, or if they're an arsehole, and some people are, they basically need to be wrapped across the knuckles, hit in the pocket and made to feel stupid, so that they can hopefully learn from that experience. Shouting and swearing at an individual, again who you don't know, in my honest opinion, can actually just escalate the situation and make it worse, and I've certainly seen some videos where it's made it worse. I've seen cyclists get punched. Now whilst that's wrong, it's a potential outcome of enraging motorists, whether they were in the wrong in the first place or not. Regardless, you get in the conflict, it takes two people to have an argument, and whilst you don't deserve to be hit, that is a potential outcome of getting into conflict. Always be the bigger person, I would say. If someone gets arsey and that, let them go, let them get on their way, report them to the police if you feel it's necessary, especially if you've got camera evidence, and just move on. Equally, going back to taking prime, I only take prime where I feel I need to discourage an overtake because it's dangerous. On the flip side of that, I will actively look ahead, and if I've got vehicles behind, I will either look for a safe space for them to overtake, which might mean me adjusting my speed, slowing down, adjusting my road position to encourage that overtake where it's safe. And in some circumstances, if I'm going particularly slow and it's windy, I will often pull over to get those vehicles past, especially if I know the road's going to be windy for some time and I'm crawling up a hill or something, say a hill like Cheddar Gorge where it's windy and steep, I may well pull over and let those vehicles past. It's safer for me because they don't get wound up after waiting and then doing something silly, and for the guys who don't do that, the courteous drivers, it's actually courteous to them. The guys who will, or ladies, who would sit behind me patiently while I'm cycling up a hill, giving me space and not overtaking dangerously, I think it's courteous to repay that patience of waiting and pulling over and letting pass. sharing the road to me works both ways. It's not. We shouldn't expect motorists just to share the road with us. We should share the road with motorists as well. By and large, most people are pretty good. As you've probably seen, I'm really paying attention to how much traffic there was, but that is the main road where I avoid coming to work. I'll review the footage and probably I'll find that there was lots and lots of traffic. I was just concentrating on what's going on around me and talking to you guys. Yeah, so that is my advice, is to basically just be courteous to other road users. Of living in the countryside is you do get nice quiet roads as well. Now I'm off that main A37. These roads are generally quieter. So you can enjoy a nice quiet cycle ride if you choose the right routes. You can enjoy a nice bit of driving. Some people seem to make a motorist versus cyclist type argument. I'm a motorist, I'm a cyclist, I enjoy both thoroughly the same. I probably enjoy cycling more because ultimately I can't drive my car fast everywhere. I'll drive within the speed limit, whereas you're unlikely to break many speed limits on a bicycle, but at the same time you still need to take responsibility for your own safety and the safety of others. Also, I used to do a lot of mountain biking, which sadly I've not done for over 10 years now, due to cost. If you want to do mountain biking properly, it's an expensive hobby. Getting through chains and cassettes, chain rings, probably every 3 months. It's surprising how often you'd damage mechs that get ripped off. So yeah, back to 2. So I enjoy cycling more. It's certainly more involved in cycling, more effort. Driving sensibly, relatively easy, and any fool can buy an expensive, powerful car, but being able to lay down power on a bike and race and for your own physical exertion, it takes quite something. Certainly, I know I'm driving today, I've just obviously I've dropped the kids off, but it takes some willpower to ride regularly weather like this. I'm not a fair weather cyclist, although I can be influenced by the weather as much as the next man. I do know that there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing. So provided I put the right clothing on, and then when I'm cycling, you can usually stay pretty dry and pretty warm. It's just making sure it's the right clothing, that you don't put too little on that you get cold, or you don't put too much on that you get hot. Obviously layers, cycling layers is one of the most important jobs, layering up. Just getting that right temperature. So it's just coming up, just gone 10 to 9, and I'm almost at work, so it doesn't take me long at all to get to work when I drive. compared to a lot of the guys who cycle cities. My commute by bike is far and large a longer journey than when I drive, and it takes, as anybody who cycles in bad weather appreciates, it takes quite a bit of preparation, making sure you've got all the right gear on, as I was speaking about just now. Bicycle lights charged, making sure you're safe. Not so difficult in a car. You get in, you turn the key, you put a bit of fuel in it, and yeah, if you're cold you turn the heater up, if you're hot you can open the window, put the aircon on, or if like me you've got a convertible, you can put the roof down and enjoy the fresh air. So that's me done, almost at work. I will say goodbye, and hopefully I'll get this uploaded in the next couple of days. So goodbye, and share the roads whether you're cycling or driving. One last point, this guy here running, he is correctly using the left hand side of the road.